Peace, beautiful soul. Welcome back to my channel. It is me, Soli, and I'm out here spreading that good energy, and hopefully today you can feel it too. Now let's jump right into the video and learn something new. Okay, so today this is my third video on the dimensional being series, so today we'll be talking about fairies and things of that nature. But first and foremost, I do want to start off by explaining elementals, because you see, just as I stated on my other video about the dragons, we too also have a misconstrued or like a blurry understanding of fairies. We really don't know what fairies are. A lot of us think that fairies, for one, are like mythical beings. They're like fantasy, they're like fake, not real, but in actuality this isn't really true. The reason why we can't really perceive them simply is because they reside more at the fourth dimensional, they're residing at the fourth and the fifth, whereas we are still in the third dimensional, and three-dimensional beings can't perceive dimensions of beings that are of higher dimension. Okay, so elementals and fairies, what is the difference? So there is a big difference between elementals and fairies, but a lot of us think that a fairy is an elemental, or an elemental is a fairy, but so fairies are, in actuality, they're not really tiny people with wings. Like, this is what we think they are, but in actuality, a fairy, fairies, they also have a role to play when it comes to like the beginning of Mother Gaia's physical manifestation, because you see, Gaia, her consciousness, the earth was here before, so Gaia was here before the earth. What I'm saying is, like, the consciousness of Gaia manifested before the physical aspect of Gaia did, and these beings came together as a soul group to help form and manifest a physical body for Gaia. So the dragons, as I mentioned on my previous video, they were, in a sense, like the creators of the elements. They're the ones who manifested the elements. They manifested fire, earth, water, air, and things of this nature, right? And now what happened was the fairies, they more have the power to in a sense wield the element, but not just that, but in a sense, like, put life into the element. You see, a fairy is ultimately a light being, and fairies and dragons, they both came to this here to help manifest the physical realm as a soul group, as they both that came directly from source. Dragons, they were more of like the manifestors, whereas fairies were more of, like, in a sense, you can say, the life givers. They say that within every atom, within every being, or even atom, we can say, there resides a God. God resides in every atom, God resides in every atom, as everything is one, everything is connected, everything is one, unity, And it is within this atom that God, or life, is. Life is within. And what these fairies are able to do is, they were ultimately the ones who were able to speak into the elements and awaken the life that was within, the energy that was within. They were able to, in a sense, speak to the God molecule, or the God atom, within the physical manifest, and allow it to awaken, in a sense. So ultimately, fairies, right? Well, I haven't even discerned the difference between the fairies and the elementals. So elementals are ultimately beings originally residing at the fourth dimension, but elementals came to the second dimension. And what elementals are, they're ultimately beings that in a sense decided to merge with an element, with the four elements, with water, fire, earth, or air. And what their priority is development. For instance, like, elementals that are of the earth elements. These elementals are more focused upon the development, and they are more focused on the development of earth, you know, so like the development of plants and things of this nature. So they're more focused on helping, supporting the growth of a plant, whereas a fairy is more like the inspiration, the creator of that plant, you know. Fairies are ultimately these beings. It's so a fairy isn't really a physical manifest. A fairy, you know, let's not even get lost on these labels. Like, it's just a label, you know. But most of the time, labels, they do tend to especially when you don't, especially when that label has in a sense been kind of messed with, they do tend to in a sense distract us from what is, you know. So let's not particularly focus on label. Like, what I'm saying is, like, try to get your belief of what fairy is out the way, because it's like we have been made to believe that fairies are this, but in actuality a fairy in a sense is more of like a light being, you know. So in the beginning, like the beginning, it is said that fairies came with dragons, you know, and they were here with Mother Gaia, and you know, they came here as pure light, and they merged themselves with earth, with Mother Gaia, you know. They merged themselves in a sense, and to a degree, I guess this is how they manifested to this realm. But ultimately, they're not particularly physical manifests. They're more like energetic manifests. Like, for instance, earlier when I was meditating, like, you know, it's actually really beautiful because today it's been raining all day in Arizona, Phoenix. It never rains, but yes, it was raining all day, you know. So I have a daily routine of going to this beautiful tree that's in front of me, and I sit next to it and I meditate. You know, this is like my tree that I meditate on, and I make this a daily routine. So even though it was raining today, I wasn't gonna like stop myself from meditating just because it was raining. So, you know, I meditated in the rain, and it was like I was being rained on and things of this nature, and you know, it was just all beautiful, such a divine experience. But yeah, I guess to a degree, while I was doing this meditation, I don't even know what got me there. I think it was because I know I was gonna make this video, so yeah, I was thinking fairies were on my mind, you know. So I tried to get in commune with them, I guess you can say, in a sense. And ultimately, the way it came to me, it wasn't a fairy, you know. It wasn't like what we were made to believe, like a being with wings, a tiny being with wings. It was more like, first I seen a field, right? It was like a field of flowers, except on the top there was like a stem, but except on the top there weren't flowers, you know. It was more like beings, tiny beings of light. And this is what a fairy is, you know. They're ultimately like little orbs of light, and little orbs of light, like very creative, very powerful powerful forces of creation, you know. Ultimately, fairies are sent out by source to help the development of a planet, you know. They are like the inspiration. They help planets evolve life, and like create life and things of this nature, you know. They're like the inspiration of the diversity of Mother Gaia, and how Mother Gaia has a lot of these diverse animals, diverse plants and everything. In a sense, you can see it as it is these fairies that are the spark, the ones that are inspiring the elements to manifest in this way, you know. But they in a sense are also like life givers, I guess you can kind of say. So, you know, us beings who consider ourselves old souls, or like we feel like we are old souls, and on top of that we have a deep connection with the earth, most of the time it's like we too were there at the beginning, you know, when Gaia in a sense wasn't even physical just yet, you know. In a sense, when Gaia was still a child, like like a baby, I guess you can say. Like now Gaia in a sense is a little girl, you know. She still has a lot to go. Like we are living on a planet that has yet to truly fully evolve. But like I say, I think I said this in my other video, time is not linear. It's not linear. Time is vertical, you know. So there actually is already a manifest of this planet that has, in a sense, you know, been where it well, everything is as it needs to be. So I'm not gonna say been where it needs to be, but it's like, you know, there are other ages of this planet, if you guys get what I'm saying. But yes, ultimately, we are at the moment living. We are also just experiencing, in a sense, a new experiment, or like a new development of a planet. Like this Earth is not as old as we believe, you know. Like I mean, it is old, but if we were to talk about like at a universal level and like other planets and how they have evolved, like we as Earth beings, it's windy. I hope that you guys don't hear the wind. But yes, we as Earth beings, you know, we still haven't really yet evolved the way that other planets have. You guys get what I'm saying? But yeah, so this is what ultimately fairies are. They are the inspirers. They are the ones who come and help planets evolve, and they bring creation, they bring diversity, and they bring, you know, and things of this nature to this planet. So to a degree, I guess you can also perceive them as, well, not perceive them as, but like they are most definitely nature spirits, you know. But that's like a nature spirit. This is like this, me saying nature spirit is, I'm not really particularly saying much, because a nature spirit, there are a variety amount of nature spirits out there, you know. But yeah. So fairies. When we were younger, it's like we were more inclined and more aware of this energy, you know, of the fairy energy. This fairy energy is very creative. It's very inspirational. It's very, yeah, I'll just leave it at that, creative. So it's like whenever we tap into this fairy energy, and fairies, you know, they are nature spirits, so they predominantly reside in nature, but places where they have yet to be touched by man, or just places where it's still wild, if you get what I mean. Like a park is an okay place, but it's like a park isn't 100%. But it's like if you were, you know, to go to a secluded place, like we can say the woods, or like river, stream, or something like this, then you are more inclined to encountering a nature spirit, you know. But most of the time, it's not likely, as they usually reside in the 4th and the 5th dimension. But the thing about the 4th dimension is the 4th and the 3rd dimension, they are very close to one another in vibration. So we occasionally can perceive beings of the 4th dimension. But yeah, beings of the 4th dimension. But this is like when these beings of the 4th dimension, in a sense, are like caught unaware, or things of that nature, right? So I also want to talk about elves, you know, elves. So the thing with elves is they are like the governors of trees, forests. Wow, that's interesting. 'Cause it's like, whereas the fairies are like the creative aspect, fairy is in a sense feminine, but yes, a fairy is not really feminine or masculine. It's kind of, they can express themselves as both, if you get what I mean. But elves. And when I say elves, I'm not talking about Santa's elves. It's like, yes, these elves, they govern the trees, but they don't just govern trees. They have a bigger role to play. They actually govern like forests at hand, and their job is to emit energy that promotes harmony and peace within forests. It promotes, I'll just use harmony. It promotes harmony, but it said that this is very hard, especially now, because it's like the world that we're living in is so polluted that it's affecting the fourth dimension, and it's affecting the elves. But like when I say polluted, I'm not particularly talking about the physical pollution. I'm more talking about like the energetic pollution, like the emotional pollution and things of this nature. Because to a degree, it's like emotions are universal. We all beings communicate. All beings at every dimension can speak emotions. But yeah, like our negative pollution of these like dense emotions that we carry on this earth realm, this third dimension, it does occasionally go to the fourth dimension, and it does affect the elves and like their goal of keeping the forest in balance and things of this nature, But yes, let me also talk about, in a sense, Gaia's Markaba, which Markaba is ultimately, it's the light body, emotional body, and physical body. That's what it is. But it's like you are truly accessing your Markaba when you can, in a sense, spark all of these simultaneously at once. When you can tap into your light body. Your light body is also your intellectual body, your emotional body, and your physical body simultaneously at one is when you are tapping into your Markaba. And the Markaba, in a sense, is kind of like a spaceship that allows us multi-dimensional travel, So when you can tap into your Markaba, then you can travel into other dimensions, Maybe not taking this physical body with you, but yes, you can travel into other dimensions. And I guess to a degree, this is what astral projection and things of this nature is. So Mother Gaia's Markaba is ultimately so obviously the physical is the physical, like the earth and things of that nature. Her emotional body is nature. Nature is the emotional body. The way that nature expresses itself is how Mother Gaia is expressing herself, So I guess when we see hectic natural disasters, Mother Gaia in a sense is angered, upset, mad. And then of course her light body would be Gaia, the consciousness of Earth, So yes, the consciousness of Earth is Gaia, the physical is the physical, like obviously, and then her emotional body is nature. I just wanted to cover that for some reason. Maybe I'm distorted because the wind is blowing like crazy. So I am kind of all over the place. But yes, so fairies are ultimately just these beings, of creation. They have immense power. They have immense ability to create. They inspire creation, they inspire diversity and things of this nature. Whereas the dragons were the ones who came and they, in a sense, wielded the elements into existence. The fairies are the ones who, in a sense, sparked that God atom within the element for it to express life, you can say. So to a degree, we can say that the fairies are like life givers, you know, and then the elementals are like the support system. You know, they're the support system. So like I was saying earlier, with you know, that the fairy being coming to me, it was like, yes, I did first see like, you know, balls of light and things of this nature, but then after that I also seen like this being, and it was like it looked like a praying mantis, but it wasn't a praying mantis, you know. It was like a being, yes, like in a sense a human form shaped being, but it was like wrapped with leaves, and that's why I said it looked like a praying mantis, and it was like hovering. And of course this is not really their true form, like they're light beings, I know this, they're like manifests of light, you know, because most beings residing in the fifth dimension are manifests of light, you know. The thing about fairies is they yeah, okay, I'll just say that they in a sense, you know, have like a hierarchy. The beings there are fairies of the fourth dimension, and these beings, they're more jolly, they're more you know, upbeat, and beings whom spread positive energy, positive vibes, and things of this nature, you know. The child within us, you know, this is like also the fairy within us, because it's like we being connected to this earth realm in a sense, and you know, fairies being the inspiration of life, in a sense they reside within us too, to a degree, you know. And the child within us can also be perceived as like, you know, the fairy within us. Fairy, child, kind of one and the same thing, you know. And then, you know, that whole story with like Pan and things of that nature. But I'm not gonna go into that though, because Pan is another story, right? Ouch. But yeah, you know, so it's like these fairies are beings of light. They are very they're very wanting to move and things of this nature, you know. So it's like, and they're well, wait, I'll just finish saying this and I'll go on to what I want to say. And you know, so it's like whenever we are depriving ourselves of fun, we are not balancing our work time with our play time. This in a sense when like we in a sense are kind of like suppressing the child within, or the fairy, or whichever you want to go, you know, because these are all just labels, but we should focus more on the energy. This is when, like, you know, we ourselves start becoming deprived. We in a sense stop gaining access to that fairy energy, because that fairy energy is in a sense an energy of source, you know. It is like, it came from source, so it is a manifestation of source, you know. But so it is said that fairies came straight from the 12th dimension to the 3rd dimension to express source, express that infinite ability to create. And that's what fairies do. They are they bring forth diversity, they bring forth life, whereas the dragons brought forth the element. I already said that, but yes, you know, that's what I just wanted to say. And then the elementals, these are actually beings that that are fairy like, you know, like the ideology of fairies that we tie it with. Actuality, we perceive elementals as fairies, you know, but fairies and elementals are complete different things, you know. Fairies have immense power of creation. They have immense power of inspiration for life to form, you know, whereas elementals, they're more support systems. Elementals are like indeed little people with like wings and you know, elementals, they support the elements, you know, like there are elementals in the wind, elementals in fire, elementals in water, and elementals of earth, and all of these things, you know. Whereas fairies, they more are the creation. They are what the tree came from. They are what inspired the earth to manifest as a tree. They are what inspired animals to manifest as what they are. Fairies are like sources tool to spread life throughout the universe. Like I said, whenever a planet is just yet to begin to form, these soul groups come forth to that planet, you know. So this would be like fairies and dragons. And I also gotta say, like, the image we have of dragons and fairies, they're not really what they are, you know. But it's more about the energy, I keep saying, because it's like I'm talking about these, and I might sound ridiculous because it's like we have an ideology of what they are and what they look like, but that ideology is not true, you know. Like, so, like, we really got to change the names and everything, like, for real. But yes, these beings, dragons and fairies, come to the planet, you know, and they help the dragons are the physical manifestors, and then the fairies are like the inspiration. They are the ones that inspire life to express in diverse creative ways, you know. We can tap into the fairy energy. As I said, these fairies are nature spirits. They reside in nature. So what you can do, of course, is go to a place in nature, right, and try and meditate. You know, the places where you feel comfortable. Like, it is said that, holy shit, it's raining again. I might be hectic because this energy I'm around is kind of hectic. But I love the wind, of course. But yeah, as I was saying, so much is going on right now, you know. There's wind. There's wind. Yeah, there's wind and there's rain. But okay. Now it's calming down. So let me go back in. As I was saying, so yes, you know, go and meditate to a place in nature where you feel most comfortable at. You know, those places in nature where you feel most comfortable at, what you need to get is energy is never created nor destroyed. So it's like when you go to nature and you feel at home, you are at home. This is kind of stating to you that you were a spirit being, a nature spirit, rather I should say, a nature spirit in one of your past lives, you know. And certain beings that have incarnated into this lifetime as human beings, they were once fairies, you know. But as I was saying, you know, the thing about time is it's not linear, it's vertical. Like, so you can be simultaneously existing at one dimension while you're existing at this dimension. And most beings who were once fairies, they're still there in fairy, you know, fairyland or whatever. But that energy is supporting them here for them to help Earth, you know, because that's what that fairy energy is all about. They came here they came here with their love for creation, and they gave that to Gaia, you know. They are the creative aspect, the creative aspect of Gaia, you know. Holy shit, my leg fell asleep. Whoa. But yeah, they are like the creative aspect of Gaia, you know. So they came here and they gave that to her, and they made it a part of her. So they are a part of her, you know. But a fairy is in a sense a being that's not just limited to this planet, but fairies are universal to other planets as well, you know. And like I said, when you think of fairy, think of the closest, the most accurate perception of a fairy would be a light of orb, you know, predominantly like tiny light of orbs rather than huge lights of orbs. But yes, a light of orb is more accurate than a being with tails, you know. I mean, a human being, a tiny human being with wings. A tiny human beings with wings are more elementals, you know, and we already talked about what elementals are. But yes, I think that pretty much covers it all. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that, you know, this information was helpful informative, you learned something new, as I promised, or as I hope in the beginning of the video. But if you did, please do like, share, subscribe, and things of that nature. Of course, thank you guys. Thank you, beautiful souls, and you guys have a blessed day or night or moment or now. There's always the now, right?